done, I don't know when we started doing this, but probably a couple decades ago, is we just started bringing back alumni to really make the lessons that you're learning now really make sense for the future. Hey, really, we do things. Many times we do things for something we can get today, but I think more successful people have a long-term view of their life, and they're willing to sort of suspend, put effort in now to get more success later. Okay, and so certainly more successful people do that, and Amar Abushakra is one of those people who did that. He was our rookie operator of the year in his first year. He held the rookie record. And then the second year, he really blew up our veteran record. He took it from somewhere in the high 200s from Carlo Bonomo in Montreal, and he blew it up to $500,000. And he really set this enormous goal and really crushed it. And since then, we've had a number of people who have done over $500,000 and over $400,000. And in many ways, again, we've got to credit Amar for sort of setting that stage and jumping to that next level. Since he's left the program, he's taken on something extraordinarily challenging, is really trying to transform the trades business. And there are so many tradespeople out there who really, really are struggling. A lack of systems, a lack of structure, a lack of knowledge, a lack of understanding, a lack of mindset. And so Amar's business is really looking to really transform that business. And it's really exciting, the headway he's getting and that he's making. And there's no question that that's been a really challenging thing. I'm not sure if he's going to be talking about that today, but thank you so much, Amar, for stepping in last minute for James. And again, we always love to have you, here, the Student Works Management Program, sharing all your wisdom.
Awesome. Chris, thank you.
You are welcome.
Hello, everybody. Can I get some screen share permission? I prepared a little something here. So thank you all for having me. My name is Amar Abushakra. I used to be in Student Works, and I'm going to share with you what happened and a little bit of my story. Tyrus is a friend of mine, and he's currently screen sharing, so I can't share my screen either.
I will stop that screen sharing.
Okay, awesome. So what does, who knows who this guy is? Throw it in the chat. Who knows who this guy is? Yes, DE. Senior. Correct. Who knows who this guy is? Anybody? Yes, Damon. Exactly. Now, what does Dale Earnhardt Sr., Jamie Dimon, and LeBron James all have in common? They have a lot in common, but the biggest thing is they get paid a lot of money, and a lot, like ludicrous amounts, more than some of us will ever see in our lifetime. Why is that? Why are there people out there? Here's a interesting little stat. Some of you may have seen this. Why do some people, in 2018, I believe this was, report an income of 63 million, while there's others that are just barely making rent? It's skills. And let me explain. So if you're a publicly traded company like Apple, you get evaluated on the stock market based on your profits, your performance, and a whole bunch of other categories. Now, indirectly, because we live in a capitalistic society, you yourself every day are being rated on your skill sets. LeBron James is being rated on his skill sets. And as such, he gets paid accordingly. Now, I don't know who plays any sort of video games. I used to be a huge video game nerd. This is a screenshot from Skyrim. And basically the game, you can upgrade different skill trees. And this is actually how I like to think about business. There are all these different skills that you have as an individual that the market is rating you on. Can you sell yourself? Can you communicate with others? Can you actually get a product across? Can you make money? And so, well, before we go any further, why should you even listen to me? Who the heck am I? I know a lot of you guys here. This is the first time joining StudentWorks. So my name is Amar Abushakra, and I started where you are. And here's why you should listen to me, I think. So this is something I've done. I've done this program and I went in it. I ran a $582,000 business. And there's an asterisk there for a reason, because this was in 2019 when I ran a 500K business. But you got to adjust for inflation. You got to. It's part of it. So that is the business that I ran. I did it in 9 months between February and November as a full-time student. I had 9 part-time and full-time employees, a foreman or a production manager, an estimator, and 6 active job sites, all of which, funny enough, allowed me for 40 hours of free time per week. Now, when you give me a lot of time and a lot of money, you make some mistakes. So I went through my fair share of mistakes. I rented a Lamborghini one time. I thought it was cool. Traveled. There's me flipping an ATV in like Austin or something. Fishing, time off with friends, playing video games. And I mentioned profits. So if I was in your shoes, this is kind of your first time looking at this, it's like, oh, okay, dude, fair enough. Show me the receipts. So I'm going to do something that probably nobody in their right mind would do, which is actually show you the receipts of what I'm talking about. So here are my financial statement from StudentWorks, a check from StudentWorks, my HST returns from StudentWorks, and a photo of my bank account. Why do I have a photo of my bank account? Well, I thought that's how you get girls. I didn't spend much time learning how to talk to girls. So I think I one time sent a screenshot to a girl thinking, hey man, maybe I can flex on them. So these were my earnings in 2019. And again, if you adjust for inflation, these numbers are a little bit bigger. But yeah, as you can see at the bottom, I have a little arrow. I got 2 fat checks, both 90K. And one of them was $90,255.85. And that's the check right there. And that's my nice fat face holding that check, also flexing, you got to come on. You got to give me some slack. 21 years old, making some money, feeling nice about myself. And here's the thing. I'm going to explain how I did this. I'm going to pass this on. But the more I learned, the more I wanted to give back. And the more I realized there were other people in StudentWorks who are equally as obsessed with learning the ropes. So I started a little podcast with a couple of my friends, Austin, who at the time ran a $300,000 business, and John, who ran a painting business out west. So StudentWorks, here's some lore for you, is split into 2. There's StudentWorks East and StudentWorks West. Basically, some guy owned the whole thing years ago, spent too much money and got into debt, and it had to sell apart. So Chris got East, and then out West, somebody else got it. His name is Dan. So John was the number 1 guy out West, and the 3 of us would meet and we would trade ideas and we'd get better and better and better. And this podcast grew because a lot of people wanted to see, well, how did we do it? What was going on? It grew to the point that we even opened a Patreon. And this is actually, we've been 3 years into the podcast. This is a photo with our Patreon members. 14 people spent a whole bunch of money to fly across Canada to hang out with us, to pick our brains or something. I think it's the coolest thing in the world. Why am I sharing this? Because there is cause and effect here. And if this is your first time in the program, or even if you're returning, there's a way to look at this. The way all the top athletes, CEOs, by the way, Jamie Dimon makes $35 million a year. There is something happening here. And I want to start off by I want to see if you guys can list some business skills. I kind of flashed it on screen, if you were quick with it, you would have seen something, but let's quickly write some business skills: communication, marketing, selling, recruiting, leadership. Okay, cool. These are really good answers. Yeah, integrity. So what I found, I don't know if anybody's found anything, but the best way to exponentially increase your income is by learning how to run a business. StudentWorks teaches you how to run a business. To run a business successfully as the main owner, there's some skills you're going to have to learn. What are these skills? Sales, marketing, hiring. But these things go deep. I mean, there's a lot of you guys here that know hockey, but you'll still get smoked by somebody else on the ice because that skill goes really, really, really deep. So these skill sets make up pretty much your ability to perform in the marketplace within a business. So you really want to think about it this like yourself. What are your skill sets and how good are they? How did I get those results? Quite honestly, I didn't achieve this because I was smart. I didn't achieve this because I work harder than you. The real reason, and this is what most people won't tell you, is just quite frankly, I got lucky. I wasn't even supposed to make it into StudentWorks. I was supposed to go into a different obsolete division that was called ProWorks and just be a manager there. But one thing led to another. And I wasn't even supposed to be in Canada, by the way, as you can tell from my name. I wasn't born here. I got lucky. I got lucky to meet the right amount of people at the right time. And that taught me the right things that actually allowed me to increase my value in the marketplace. I got lucky just like you. I got lucky to meet this guy, Chris. And Chris allowed me to meet a lot of district managers, other smart operators, people who in their spare time like to read books, people who like to figure out how to make money, give back to their parents, get a life that they deserve. And Chris is within a network of people who are also extremely successful. I don't know if you guys know who this guy is, but Brian Scudamore, founder of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. What is today? Today is Thursday. Every day, his brand, One Day Painting, Got Junk, today, they will do 1.5 million in sales. And Brian will personally make no less than 100 grand a day. Here's a little less known guy who's worth way more than anybody in this industry. Jay Hennick, Canadian billionaire. And if you can see, you can maybe get in close to your screen. This guy owns Paul Davis, First On Site, California Closets, CertaPro Painters. He just runs a conglomerate. What is going on here? How do these contractors, business owners get there? You know, whether you're in StudentWorks right now because you want to build a multi-million-dollar business, maybe you want to make a decent income, maybe you want time freedom. You need to absolutely have the right systems and people around you so that you can, one, find work for any business you go in and then fulfill on that work. If you want time freedom to say, okay, you know what? It's July. I want to go fishing. I'm going to have a business with 10, 14 employees running while I'm fishing. I want to turn off my phone. I want to spend this free time to become a millionaire before 30. At the core, it just came down to skills. This chart here, for all rookies and vets, this, in my personal opinion, is the gold star that you'd want to shoot for in completing this program. The amount of skills required to do this successfully, everything you're seeing on the screen, to have an assistant or somebody like in the office or an admin to help you reply to emails and do the receipts or whatever, to have a production manager or a foreman that's overseeing your employees and have multiple job sites running at once. And then on the other side, and this side, in my opinion, is a bit harder, is having a sales manager. And that term has been muddied up, I think, for years. So I want to clear it up. A sales manager manages a closer who goes and closes deals for you, an estimator, a guy who takes measurements, and a marketing team. If you can get this, I think you would have successfully withdrawn the most amount of skill. I think it really can just keep going. But if you can aim for this and run a business year round that does that, your skill in the marketplace, I mean, you can just kind of pause here, screenshot this, and look at the different skills required to do this. You got to sell your people. You got to sell the work. You got to keep them engaged. You have to have that culture. You got to be a good manager. It just goes on and on. Now, you can build this up, and you see a guy like Shaq has a lot of money. What you don't know is he has a lot of skill around running businesses. He has 155 five-guy restaurants, 150 car washes, and 40 24-hour fitness gyms. And whenever you see him on YouTube or something, he's just like roasting Charles Barkley or something. But like, as he sleeps, as he does his thing, money is just rolling in like nobody's business. It's because he has a couple of skills, and those skills were rewarded in a marketplace, and that generated cash. And you know what's also a skill? Capital allocation, knowing where to put your money. So he's built that skill and has been able to live this life that we all really want to shoot for and dream for one day. So you might say, Amber, break it down for me as if it is a video game. What are the levels of skills that I can try to get to? Well, here it is. It is impossible to have 4 crews in your business that are getting well paid and not making at least 300,000 in revenue. And if it's being managed correctly with the right skill level, you should be taking home, always as a target, 35% profit margins. On my 500K business, my margins were 38. That's what allowed me to exercise the freedom and really do what I'm doing today, which I'll get to in a second. But here are the levels. The better skills you can gain, the more valuable you are in the marketplace, because people vote with their dollars, they will do business with you. And then because they do business with you, you have the right system to take those and generate a service with a gap where they pay you $1,000 for something. You have a system that can use $500 or $600 of that 1,000 to deliver that promise, and you keep $400. That is a skill. And you're really, the game here, year after year in this program, whether you're a district manager or whatever, is upgrading your skills. Rookie, vet, whatever it is, upgrade your skills. And that's what these people are doing. If you want to go from making 145 grand to 500 grand, if it's in your own business, you have to upgrade your skills. If you're within a corporation, you have to become way more irreplaceable. And you got to be able to do things that, you know, the other 10,000 people in the same company can't do. Like if you get, we want to go to Deloitte, JP Morgan, you name it. You'll get treated based on your skill sets. So all of a sudden, you are here in this program whose sole purpose is to give you skill sets. What will separate one person from the next is how much they focus on attaining the skill. I think the biggest loss that you could take away from this program is doing the absolute bare minimum and forgetting this principle. Because you can easily, I think I've heard a story of one guy. He had one employee in StudentWorks and he did $80,000 in revenue, but he was painting like 9 hours a day. So if we break that down, what skill did that person learn that year? He learned how to hire one guy part-time that he had to oversee the whole time. And he also learned how to paint. So currently in the marketplace, painters are being voted to be worth around 80 to 90,000 a year. That is the skill set. However, as a business owner, the marketplace continues to reward the extremely talented. And one of my friends, John, who's on the podcast, he said this publicly. This year, John will make over $500,000. He's 26. And he's earned every single dollar. He manages over 22 employees. And his 5-star ratings are through the roof. He is a skilled business owner. You want to know something else about John? He's read over 100 books just the past year. He's stacking skills that are leaving a lot of people in the dust. Sometimes I feel a little bit behind compared to John. So ask yourself this. Who here, you don't have to type in chat, just think about it. Can you cook a burger? Pretty simple question. You can, but so can McDonald's. But McDonald's is a $200 billion company. And if you ever notice, most of their locations are being ran by high schoolers that smoke weed in the weekend. 200 billion. How's that even possible? What is going on here? Everybody knows food is unhealthy, yet they're still around. Well, if you look at their balance sheets, financial statements, cash flow statements, they know how to allocate capital. And guess what? They have executives of the highest skill set that know how to maintain a competitive position for themselves and their shareholders. It's black and white. They have the best systems out there. For $3 that you spend on a McDouble, maybe it's like $4 now or something. And they can extract value from that $3 because of how tight the ship is. It's skills. How can somebody like Brian Scudamore make $100,000 a day? Skills. And how can a punk like me run a contracting business, at that level at 21? It really just comes down to skills. And not skills I had to like reinvent to go through trial and error. It was mostly the skill of listening and being coachable. Because think about it. The answers are here. You're in the right place. It works. How good of a listener and how coachable you are is the main factor to how far you go. Whether you go get a job, a business, or anything, you will always carry with you yourself and your mind. And your mind, well, that can be upgraded with skills. No matter where you go, as long as you focus on actually gaining the right skill sets, I think you can go very, very far. So if you're a rookie right now watching this, the only thing you should be thinking is, how can I increase my value in the marketplace? And the answer should be, well, I got to acquire skill sets. So if you have a district manager, I need you to work them to the bone. I'm sorry. Some of you guys are going to hate me. Send me texts, Amber, what's going on here? If you are a rookie operator with a district manager, extract as much value from your district manager. In my first year, I extracted so much from my district manager. She left. Good. Squeeze every drop you can. And because there was nobody else that, whatever happened, the other person that I had, because I put up good numbers as a rookie, I was able to make a very bold request to say, hey, Chris, I want you to be my district manager. And the things I've learned from Chris and the things you'll learn from your district manager. I mean, some of these people have been around for a long time. There's so much here. This, as a person in the marketplace, you're evaluated on your skill tree. And how you choose to spend your time is going to determine that. Are you going to try to find the best vape flavors to mix? Great skill set, great way to lose money. Are you trying to figure out the best way to maybe top frag on the new war, like Call of Duty warfare? Fair enough. That's just an electricity bill. What are you going to be focusing on this summer? What are you adding to your skill tree? What level do you want to end up on? The cool thing about capitalism is we're all constricted with 24 hours. And if we can just get smart at how we spend our time, what we learn, and our focus, anything's really possible. So I took this and I decided to go for the record at the time was like 330. So I said, I want to gain as many skills as possible. And if I break the record, if I can get a sales manager, if I can have a production manager, if I can spend 0 hours painting, those are the skills that I would need to feel confident. And I would have the cash to go out there in the real world. So that's what I did. So you might be whistling, oh, Amber, I don't see a future in student works. Fair enough, man. But extract first. So 3 years ago, I started a consulting firm. I was learning all these things and I felt tremendous guilt because the money I was making and I was really driving out competition. It's called Trade Art Consulting. That's the name of the business. And I observed there's two sides. There's the trade and then the business. And the trade is like painting, but that's a skill that's low paying. We just said that. But then there's the other skill of running a business, which somehow, I don't know how, some of you guys, you got lucky being here. Maybe the interviewer was a little bit in your I2 or I3, was a little bit tired and you snuck in. You're here now. Like you grab this opportunity, learn these business skills. Because that's literally what I do. That's the opportunity I saw. There's so many carpenters and painters and drywallers and I can go on, like general contractors who have no skills. So I realized there's a huge gap of knowledge here. And I tried to focus on this. Literally what I'm telling you here, skills. People that saw this opportunity didn't capture it. And then later, they're now 43 years old. I swear to God, this is my typical customer, 43, 44. can't see their kids because they're working too much, because they're stuck painting Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday. They have no clue how to delegate, no clue how to hire, no clue how to do anything. They're making 70 grand a year, working 60 hours a week. Don't be that guy. Not when you have this opportunity. What a waste would that be? Here you have a contracting franchise like StudentWorks that on average has 75 locations over the past 40 years. Right now, I think we're going to cross 300. You do the math on that. That's 3,000 businesses. If you ran 10 successful businesses in your lifetime, you'd need 300 lifetimes to catch up to the knowledge that Chris, Pat, the district managers have in their mind. And you're going to sit there and play Fortnite. You're going to scroll on TikTok. Fair enough, man. But there's a Jamie Dimon here who's going to extract every second of every minute as the next year rolls around. So here's what I did. I took what I learned and I said, Chris, what happens if can you bless me? And the Godfather blessed me. And this is where I went. I wanted to teach and pass this along, because here's the things I was able to accomplish that really in the marketplace was very hard to accomplish. I didn't touch a single tool. I took a week off in July. I had less than 5% employee turnover and a profit of 215K. Asterisk adjusted to inflation. At the time, it was 185K. So I wanted to share that. And this is what we did. We have 169 members as of this recording, and we've helped them grow. Here's some screenshots of some people I've worked with passively, full-time. And yeah, what's in it for me? You might say, okay, Amber, my goal is I want to make $1 billion sale. How do you make $1 billion sale? You're going to have to get really good at the game of business. So how do I get good at the game of business? I took everything I learned from StudentWorks, and for the past 3 years, I've been iterating and improving the scientific method, using it to get better and better and better at running businesses. So I can get to the point where I can buy a portfolio of 500 contracting businesses that I can package up and then sell to JP Morgan for around 700 to 900 mil. That takes a lot of skills. So when I went out and went through this, I recognized, damn, my skill tree sucks if I'm trying to make $1 billion sale. I got to keep going up. So what do you think I did? I had to go acquire skills. Now, to acquire skills at this level costs a lot of money. Here's a screenshot of one of the portals where I have spent a lot of money to learn information. Accelerator was $4,000, up level $10,000, sales team accelerator $20,000. This is money I've spent in the past 2 years upgrading my skill tree. But there's even another level, which is a network like StudentWorks. Like right now, the access that you have to these district managers, to Chris, to Pat, it's crazy. People, this is Sam Ovens. He charges $40,000 per year to hang out with business owners that are clearing around 50 to 100 grand a month. That's the circle I'm trying to get into next. There's the 8-figure boardroom mastermind with Cole Gordon. Who's Cole Gordon? What the hell's a boardroom? What's a mastermind? Exactly. These rich people with rich businesses hang out and they trade skills. This one costs 68 grand US, around $100,000 Canadian. I joined a personal mastermind where I met my friend James and Jonah and Haley and Michael. And every month we sit down for 3 hours and we do what? We trade skills. So if there's anything I want to leave you with, it's this. You are in the right environment, the right pool, the right resources, the right systems, and the right people. You can upgrade your skill tree, or you don't. You have a choice. And the marketplace, as long as it exists, will continue to reward those who have highly desirable skills with lots and lots of money. And I want to leave you with this image. And this one, it really stuck with me. I think my friend John, let's do it all together as we wrap up here. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. You are sitting on the front of your house, okay? On the steps to your house. That's where you're sitting right now. And your son comes up to you. And he looks up to you and he says, Mom, Dad, why is it that your friend X has a bigger house than us? how come they always look so happy, but you look so stressed, mom, dad? You got to look your kid in the face and say to them, oh, honey, it's because your dad was lazy. It's because your dad chose shortcuts. It's because your mom made excuses. Don't be that person. Here's this opportunity. Begin again. Today's a new day. The past really doesn't exist. You can't put it. The future doesn't. You have right now. And right now you have a decision. What the hell are you going to do with this opportunity? Because I know my life changed when I took advantage of it. Thank you, Chris.
Oh, awesome, Amber. Just a fantastic share and note. Starts on time, ends on time. So well done, sir, and very, very appreciative. So yeah, just so much to take in, and I know the chats blowing up. So again, thanks so much. I'll hand it over to Patrick. I'm sure a good chance he's got some things to share, and I know he's going to take us away for the next presentation. Thanks for stepping in for the last moment.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out to everybody that Amber didn't have this presentation ready 40 minutes ago. So he called me, he goes, James is really sick. I need to put together a presentation. You know, what should these guys learn about? And I said, hey, tell them what you wish you knew coming into this, you know, what you wish somebody had shared with you. And he literally put that presentation together for you guys in the last 40 minutes, you know, just because he wanted to knock it out of the park. You know, I think there's something there. I think anybody who, you know, has run a business and has kind of been involved in, you know, sort of seeing the impact that it can have when you really give yourself to a business like this, I think it just kind of shows, you know, what's available for people. And so I hope people really enjoyed that. I think based on how the reactions were in the chat, I think, you know, it sounds like they did. So thanks so much for coming out, Emmer.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night.